Coming up, Lieutenant Governor John Housted is taking on a new role. He's representing Ohio in the U.S. Senate. Why the governor says he was the best choice. Plus, coughing, sneezing, sniffling. It's that time of year. We check in with what doctors on what they're seeing patients come in with.
We've got that Arctic outbreak of cold air. High's going to be the single digits. The wind chill value of -15 to -25. This will take up much of next week. I'll let you know when it arrives, how cold it's going to get, and how long it will last. That's my full hour-by-hour forecast coming up. Kaylee, back over to you.
Welcome into WTOL 11 News on Plus. I'm Kaylee Marintet. Let's get to your top stories for this Friday night. The woman accused of crashing her car into a birthday party, killing 2 children and injuring several others, faced a judge today. Marshella Chittister appeared in Monroe County Circuit Court for a motion hearing. According to court records, a judge decided that her trial will stay in Monroe County. Chittister requested it to be moved to another county. She is charged with second-degree murder, operating while impaired by liquor causing death, and operating while impaired causing serious injury. Her trial date is scheduled to start in March.
It is my honor to accept the appointment to serve the people of the state of Ohio in the U.S. Senate.
Governor Mike DeWine announcing today that Lieutenant Governor John Housted will fill Vice President-elect J.D. Vance's seat in the U.S. Senate. Housted is a former Ohio House Speaker and 2-term Ohio Secretary of State. He will have to run in a special election next November to retain his seat in the Senate. A bid for the full term will be in 2028. Housted says he's ready to head to D.C.
I really look forward to working with President Trump and Vice President Vance and the Republican majority, who have an America First agenda to fight inflation, stop illegal immigration, and advance conservative values, and that's what I'll do.
I know his knowledge of Ohio. I know his heart. I know what he cares about. I know his skills. And all of that tells me that he is the right person for this job.
Governor DeWine's office says he has not picked a candidate to fill the lieutenant governor position. Once picked, that person must be confirmed by both the Ohio Senate and Ohio House of Representatives. While Northwest Ohio's own John Housted appointed to the U.S. Senate, there's excitement in the area. State Senator Rob McCauley praised Housted's Northwest Ohio roots. He called the appointment a big win for the region.
John Housted actually grew up in Montpelier in Williams County. He's always considered Northwest Ohio to be his home in many respects. And I can speak personally that he has not forgotten his roots. He referenced them during his press conference today, that just being a boy who grew up on County Road J near Montpelier, Ohio, a shout out to his hometown and his upbringing. And Northwest Ohio, I believe, will continue to hold a special place in his thoughts and in his heart.
McCauley says Housted's track record of economic development will be a key asset as he takes on his new role in Washington. The Supreme Court cleared the way for a ban on TikTok in the U.S. to take effect this Sunday. The Supreme Court ruled the law labeling TikTok as a national security risk does not violate the First Amendment rights of its users. The law gave TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, until the 19th to sell off the social media site. So come Sunday, the government is expected to order app stores to remove it. The incoming administration will also have time to review the situation.
He comes into office, he needs to have his whole national security team, as well as his legal team, the Department of Justice, develop a strategy to ensure that our data is safe, our privacy is secure across all threats.
The president-elect said on social media his decision on TikTok will be made in the, quote, not too distant future, end quote. Ohio is taking action against organized retail crime with new legislation. Lawmakers say organized retail crime is on the rise in the Buckeye State. Now, recent legislation aims to protect businesses and consumers from the impacts of professional theft operations. House Bill 272 aims to crack down on and verify third-party sellers on online marketplaces. Lawmakers say it's a small step that needed to be done. Well, 2 bills that would preserve the tipped wage system in Michigan are now going before the House of Representatives. The Select Committee on Protecting Michigan Employees and Small Businesses advanced the bills yesterday. While some workers are pushing for these new pieces of legislation, others aren't so keen on them.
I mean, it's just going to be awful. It's going to be terrible. It's going to have such a negative effect personally and throughout our economy.
House Bill 4001 protects the tipped wage credit in Michigan and increases the minimum wage to $12 an hour this year. It also outlines a slightly slowed down rate of increase until 2029. In the meantime, House Bill 4002 allows businesses with fewer than 50 employees to be exempt from offering sick time to workers. Construction will be coming back to downtown Sylvania starting mid-February. The project will bring new lighting, plants, and sidewalks to the downtown area. The first phase will make the block more ADA accessible, and the traffic signal at Maplewood and Main will be replaced with a four-way stop. The area will also be getting a new storm sewer and some upgrades that won't be seen on the street. Although the construction will cause some disruptions to the business, the Chamber of Commerce is working to prepare the stores.
We're working on a digital shopping passport, encouraging our businesses to really focus on their storefronts or their entrances. How do they get customers in there? And we're really here to help supply from social media posts to extra signage for them.
Underground utility work will start mid-February. The goal is to have phase 1 finished by early September. Well, there are some cold temperatures on the way, but what will it take for schools to close next week? That's what many in the region are asking as harsh weather conditions are on the way. Silver Barker has the answer tonight.
A half day, full day, or snow day. Leaders say that decision won't be made until weather conditions hours before school starts.
I think it's always important to just start with, hey, we live in the north, this is a thing, and we just have to kind of be prepared and dress for it accordingly.
Perrysburg School Superintendent Tom Hosler says it depends on wind chills and whether the temperature drops low enough where kids could catch frostbite walking or waiting at bus stops.
It can be very uncomfortable, like -7 and very cold, but you're not at risk of frostbite in that range unless you're there for an hour or longer, which fortunately we're not.
He says temperatures like -15 or 22 degrees with wind chill is when there's a higher chance of canceling school.
So we want to make sure that it isn't so cold that our buses begin to have mechanical issues and then kids are stranded at the bus stop.
These same factors are taken into consideration with other school districts as well.
We will be up extremely early in the morning, checking the conditions of the weather, and depending upon the wind chill, we'll make a decision to either delay or close.
And with the possibility of school being closed, places like Sylvania Playland are preparing for next week's influx of kids.
There's busy times where we will have over 100 kids here at the same time, and then what we really focus on is the policing, is what we call it out there, right? Making sure we have enough staff members to make sure kids are safe.
We also reached out to Toledo Public Schools. They sent us a statement in which they say they will continue to monitor the forecast over the weekend. Chris?
Yeah, we're going to monitor that very close. We'll have updates around the clock through the weekend because we have alert days for that Arctic cold. Highs, expect this by Monday and Tuesday to be in the single digits. The wind chill value as cold as 25 below zero. And the risk at this point, we're just saying frostbite, hypothermia, cold weather exposure, and including, unfortunately, the risk of frozen pipes with the longer duration cold that we're anticipating. So let's highlight some of the impacts. Monday through Wednesday, that's going to be the worst of the impacts as we get into the extreme cold. This is going to be several days of it. So at this point, what can you do? Make sure that heavy coat, the hats, gloves are ready to go. Limit outdoor exposure. If you have plans at all to really be outdoors anytime early next week, hopefully you could delay that, cancel it, or move them indoors. Make sure that car is tuned up. The car battery, if it's really an old battery, you may want to get it tested or replaced ahead of the bitter cold that's going to be arriving. First things first, though, we've had clear skies and bright sunshine through our Friday. It was a gorgeous day. Made it through the upper 30s to near 40 degrees. Rain is going to come into the area tonight as we are above freezing right now in the mid-30s. So here's that rain coming in. If you're a night owl, it's after midnight that rain comes into the area. Here's the clock, 1 a.m., just the first showers working into the area. And it's going to rain steadily tonight into about daybreak tomorrow, starting to mix in with snow. So if you wake up early in the morning, 6, 7, 8 o'clock, just starting to mix in with wet snow. Minor slushy accumulations, a ½ an inch to an inch will be possible as colder air begins to rush in on Saturday. Weekend forecast will put us early in the day in the mid-30s. Rain to snow first thing in the morning, a few snow showers into the afternoon. Dramatic difference by Sunday, 17 the high. It will be cold and brisk, and it will only turn colder as we go beyond the weekend. So let's punch this out here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The wind chill value Monday, 10 to 20 below zero. The high, 6 degrees. On Tuesday, that wind chill could reach 20 to 25 below zero. The high on Tuesday, 5 degrees. And as we get into next week, Wednesday, still that wind chill could be reaching 20 to 25 below zero, and the high by Wednesday afternoon right around 15 degrees. So when does it begin? When does that cold weather really begin to grip the region? It is going to be Sunday night. We're going to be headed towards sub-zero wind chills. And once we go there, we're going to be double digits below zero. Check it out by Monday morning. That is some extremely cold weather as we go into Monday. So it could be as much as 84 straight hours of temperatures or wind chills that will be below zero. Highs on Saturday, mid-30s, that rain to snow mix that will be out there first thing in the morning. Much colder Sunday, 17 degrees. And are you just shivering thinking about this? 6 the high on Monday. A few flurries, but bitter cold Monday. We'll start the day below zero. Sub-zero temperatures on Tuesday, 5 below, a high of 5 degrees. Could be as cold as 7 below on Wednesday, 15 the high. And we've highlighted these alert days. In fact, we're the first to issue these Monday of this past week. Giving you that heads up, and we haven't budged on this one. Those wind chills haven't moved. 10 to 25 below zero is what we are going to be anticipating. A little bit of a moderation back into the 20s and 30s toward the tail end of that 10-day forecast. Back over to you, Kaylee.
All right, thanks, Chris. Many are still dealing with lingering illnesses, while others are trying to fight them off. Is it true, though, that cold weather impacts your health? Ryan Lucien has the story.
It's that time of year again. I'm not talking about the cold weather, but it doesn't help. That time of year is the cold and flu season.
COVID-19, influenza, RSV, and at times, and earlier this year or later last year, were pertussis cases.
According to the Toledo-Lucas County Health Department and local health providers, this is the time of year for respiratory diseases.
Over the last few weeks, we've definitely seen an upswing in upper respiratory viruses, infections, and that's very common. This type of year, we're definitely in influenza season. We're seeing a lot of influenza A now. COVID hasn't gone away.
And winter is prime time sickness season. Teresa Datano of the Toledo-Lucas County Health Department says the reason this time of year is so virus-ridden is the cold weather keeping us indoors, increasing the risk of spreading germs to other people and decreasing airflow.
It really does lend itself for more illnesses to affect all of us because we are indoors and we don't have a lot of air ventilation or flowing through our homes or our school buildings, our offices, etc. So that's why we tend to see them more around this time.
So stay home, get yourself tested, make sure to wash your hands frequently, use tissues and cough in your arm, get fresh air, and of course, make sure you're up to date on vaccinations, because healthcare professionals like Dr. Matthew White do the same to help get you better.
Wash your hands when you enter and leave a patient room. I wear gloves for every encounter, and I wear a mask even at my desk when I'm walking the halls, when I'm going into and out of a room. You will rarely see me without a mask on.
Because you're not just keeping yourself healthy, you're keeping your family and loved ones healthy.
The best things that you can do, not only for yourself or if you're a parent and your kids are sick, is make sure that you're staying healthy, that you're getting good nutrition, you're getting good night's sleep, you're where masking is needed, and the healthier you are, the healthier your family is.
Well, come Monday night, there will be a new college football national champion. The Ohio State Buckeyes are taking on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. The Buckeyes got there after beating Texas last week 28-14, while the Irish beat Penn State with a last-second field goal to win it 27-24. The game kicks off at 7:30 Monday night. The Detroit Lions are in the playoffs and are the NFC's top seed for the first time. We stopped by Bedford High School today, where students showed off their Lions pride ahead of tomorrow's big game. Go Lions! Well, students and staff dressed from head to toe in Honolulu blue and Lions gear. The Spirit